Good morning, one and all. Thank you so much for joining our webinar today. Today we have our guest with us, Shri Rajesh Padmahar. He's an academician and a social activist by profession. Mr. Padmahar is a lecturer in biology at Government Pre-University College, Tiptur, Tumkur district of Karnataka. He serves as a trustee of social academic NGOs such as Disha Bharat, Samarth Bharat, Thinkers Forum, Namaste India, etc. Mr. Padmahar has also been an eminent panelist in many of the prominent news medias. And today he is joining us to discuss about on topic understanding social media strategies, contents, and mobilization. I hope we have a lot of learning to learn from you, sir, and a lot of takeaways. So now over to you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you. Shall I share the screen with you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hope you can see the video, right? I mean, screen, right?
Yes, 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 sir. It is visible. I hope everyone is able to see the screen, a PowerPoint presentation.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you. So, may I know how many minutes I have for the whole session?
We have scheduled it for 1 hour, sir, but we can take it ahead as well.
I think you can go 1 hour, sir. Afterwards, 10 to 15 minutes, you can give the interaction.
Okay. Thank you. So, most of you may be having your own social media account. You are knowing what exactly social media is. So, I'll not go into the details of what is social media and all, but to brush up some of the things to have a beginning for this session. You may be familiar with this image of the 8 p.m. talk of the PM Prime Minister on November 8, 2015. Most of you have seen this video presentation by Prime Minister Modi. So this presentation is a very important matter of concern as far as social media understanding in India is concerned. Because hope you maybe identified the note of this particular talk by the Prime Minister is all about the demonetization declaration. So 8 p.m. he begins his talk, and about 8:25 and all he comes to a declaration point, and he says that today onwards the demonetization in India is being done, where 500 and 1,000 notes are no more valid after midnight 12 o'clock. So only three and a half hour left, and a big country like India, where their population is nearly, then it was 1.27 crores. Such a large country, for a large country, this message has to be passed to each and every individual of this country. So he selected a platform of addressing media so that his message will reach the ultimate Indian, the Indian in a remote village within 3 hours, because he is a prime minister, he is a statesman who knew the power of social media. The moment he addressed from Delhi, the message came across all mainstream media. The content were shared in different social media. The opinions were shared, discussion was started, and within 1 hour, within 9:30, almost 90% of Indians were aware of the demonetization. So using social media for maybe for administration, maybe for some other reason, whatever it is, India is an experimental land since last decade, and this is one very great occasion where mass reach of social media was proved by our Prime Minister. The word social media, of course, as you know, it is used to communicate. It will show, it will share the information as news. Many a times it explores the language skills also. New learning will happen. New words will be coming. For example, if you follow the tweets of Shashi Tharoor, if you follow the tweets of so many elder leaders, literatures, cinema actors, new words will be coming out. So our language skill also get improved. Even it records history also, what exactly happened in a village, in a district, in a remote area where the main media penetration is very less, or it's not at all there. The social media will record that, and of course it records big histories, maybe the Egypt revolution, maybe the Brexit in London, or it may be the Trump Hillary, the so-called election battle, or within India, there are a lot of movement happened last decade. It records history also. And of course, it creates a very huge public opinion. The entire nation will be aligned either to for or against or certain issues, certain ideologies, certain development. So it creates a large opinion also. And of course, as a tool of fighting for social justice, social media is very, very important tool, maybe for a rape victim, maybe for a victim of communal or social violence, domestic violence, maybe some other issues. So it is a tool to fight justice, and many of the cases, because of an alert to social media activism, the justice has been delivered. And of course, last and final point is very important. Why we want social media? Because it makes an individual aware of the social happenings. It is not just keeping him limited to some academics. Most of the students, for example, they are studying science or some other aspect, other disciplines. Maybe they may be getting 100 out of 100 in physics or maths or something, but socially they are not aware what is happening in the society. So the social media is a forum for those students who are very much academic, so that they will get to know what exactly happening in the society. That's why it's aware. Most of your media students, you are aware that there are three types of media: the print, social, and the electronic media. Where the electronic media and the print media, they are very conventional, they are professionally handled, it's a big industry there. There are a lot of things, but social media is a common man's media. Anybody can use. A person can own his own media, right, through the social media platforms. So the ultimate working style of any social media platform that you can look around is on three things, which is based on educating, informing, and entertaining an individual. So it's called as EIE: educate, inform, and entertain. These are the three basic forums in which the social media is working. Most of the educational things happen maybe in the sports, maybe in the politics, maybe in cinema. There will be education, there will be an information at the end. Of course, we need an entertainment also. Of course, in serious field like politics also, there are some cases where the trolls and memes and the funny statements, the fumbled or the lip movement, that will lead to some sarcasm, some entertainment and everything. So that's why whatever it is, there will be education, information, and entertainment as far as things are concerned. So what is needed to be a good social media activist is, we need three things. One is a technology friendly mindset. You should not run away from the technology. Most of the times what happens is, some people, they'll think of that, oh, this app should be downloaded, this device has to be handled, it will be a little technological oriented. They will feel that this is not my cup of tea. It's not so. You should require a technology friend mindset. Of course, you need a device. Without a device, you can't do anything. And you should have a skill of using also. If you have a device and you have a technology mindset, it's not just the one using the device and how exactly you can take a good snap, you can adjust it, you can post on your Facebook or Twitter accounts, how exactly you can use in a very good way. In the sense, you should have the skill of using also. If these three are there with you, you can be a very good social media activist: technology friendly mindset, a device, and the skill of using. Very thankfully, we have got these smartphones in these days, which change the global scenario. Earlier, the phone was just a device where you can talk to one person to another, but nowadays you can have number of applications. Using a phone, you can connect with the mass, you can reach a good number of people, you can share opinions, you can do wonders. That's why the smartphones which are coming, as the technology advanced, even the social media and the communication also gifted with that. If you look at the countries with the use of internet users, this is a data of yesterday. If you take India being the second largest population in the world, we do have the second largest internet population. Nearly 70 crores of Indians who have got internet connection today. It's a big, big number where digital penetration is very high. There is no panchayat in India where the digital communication is not yet reached. It may be the remote village of Ladakh, it may be a tiny livelihood in Arunachal. everywhere, including the islands of Lakshadweep and Andaman and Nicobar, we got internet penetration. It means social media is reaching them. There are people who use that. This is an image of a new India. Look at the lady. She's an agriculturist. She works with a mobile app. She takes the snap of the flowers grown in her agriculture farms. She uploads in that app, and there are people waiting to purchase the whole acres of flowers. So we have got such agriculturists who are coming out. They are not waiting for the market or middlemen to come and buy. They use this digital platform in different media. And of course, digital, I mean, smartphones are used by even the farmers also. They have got different social media platform. They communicate to different farmers. They discuss farmers' issue. They come up with a resolution. There is a digital online gathering of the farmers as well. So this is a new India where socially they are connected. This is also a very important forum where the people are addressing. If you go back to the history, the Yahoo GeoCities was the first ever social media forum launched across during 1994, almost 30 years back. But because of so many things, the Yahoo is sidelined. Some other social media forums came forward, and today we have got more than 600 social media websites across the world. There are more than 600 in different fields: entertainment, sports, social gathering, networking, business, professionalism, for media. For a lot of things, there are a lot of social media works. But by and large, around 10 to 15 social media are only popular. They are used by a large population. So we'll select few of them. So social media overall strategy includes you should be a good listener. You have to define some of the moments. You have to measure what exactly the things happening. If you post, you can measure your what you call post there. How many likes, how many comments, how many shares, retweets, everything you can. You can prioritize also. You can pin the most updated or most important post from your hand. You can develop, control, engage. You can learn new things also from other posts of the same issue. So there are a lot of social media strategies waiting for you. As far as the global usage of social media is taken, Facebook is leading as a global social media frontliner. So there are more than 2,375 millions of users for Facebook. YouTube is the second one. Third one is WhatsApp with 1,600 millions of users. Of course, Twitter goes to around 330 millions, and even the official Twitter says around 360 millions, whatever it is. We have got different social media platforms you can list, and most of them they are from the United States, and few are from China. China does not use Facebook, so China will have its own content. China don't have YouTube, they have their own networks. So China and United States are leading in that. Of course, even the Israel came out with their own social media forum called Viber. So in India, the social media penetration is increasing by year. For example, if you take 2015, we have got 142.35 I mean millions of people. But today, if you estimate in 2020, it will be around 376 millions, and it will jump up to around 450 millions in next 3 years. So we are having a large social media use base. We are in the COVID era, so the social media used by age group, if you take the first image, says around 16 to 24 years of age, that age group will have 58% of their presence in social media. The rest of the 50% of the population, if you take between 25 to 34. So if you take the younger population from 16 to 34, their presence is very huge in different social media platforms. And during the COVID date itself, of course, is exact data what is released last month, in the sense April 25. So the smartphone or mobile phone usage, using that, how many are spending the social media hours? You take 76%. So large amount of people, youngsters, they are using smartphones as a social media. Fine. We'll come to few platforms and we'll discuss something. And first, of course, we'll take the Facebook. And I wish, or I believe that most of you have got Facebook account except few. So if you take the social media platform, Facebook itself is leading in the world. Mark Zuckerberg, he started as a student in Harvard University. For a common individual like you and me, we have got Facebook profile where we can have 5,000 friends and the number of followers, which is unlimited. But for public figures, public institutions, we have got Facebook page with large amount of followers base. For example, if you take our Prime Minister of India, as today morning 7:45, you can see he has a large followers base as a public figure. So he has got more than 4 crore 55 lakhs 83,623 followers following his account, Prime Minister's account. Likewise, many cinema stars, many celebrities have got their own account. If you take the overall usage in India by the age, you can see in a large way 13 to 34. That is the age group where you can have large amount of people are using the social media, especially the Facebook in a very large way. So the audience of the Facebook, if you take globally, 2.2 billion. That is the overall penetration we have got. India, US and Indonesia and Brazil and Mexico. These are the top 5 countries which use social media, Facebook as a large base of the communication. So access by device, as you take, the latest data says 98.2%, they're just testing through the so-called mobile phones. 1.8% they'll check through the laptops, and 20% they'll have accounts either mobile or laptop. Only in the so-called mobile device, around 78%. So in a Facebook, there are a lot of activism forums. Generally, as you're aware, you can upload some of the contents and you can have the so-called likes and comments, and you can you can interact with the people. But other than that, you have got few things which you can do. For example, you can create groups within your profile. You have got, for example, you have got around 5,000 followers for you or friends for you. Of the 5,000, everybody will not have the same kind of taste. Some may be your relatives, some may be your friends in the classroom, some may be some social people, some may be some other kind of people who have got common interest for cricket or something. You can make groups, you can add individuals who are friends, and you can start discussion. Today, the Facebook group discussion is very highly used, and of course, WhatsApp is purchased by the Facebook only for this reason. So number of chats which is happening in a WhatsApp group, the same thing can happen in the Facebook also. Of course, Facebook group is older compared to WhatsApp, but the same mobilization part will be seen. You can have number of groups where active participants can interact, chat and all. If you have got a Facebook profile, then only you can create a page. So you can have the Facebook page also of your choice for your company, for your forum, for your business thing, for a new media venture, for everything. So to create a page, you require a profile. So using profile, you can create number of groups, you can create number of pages also, and you can be an active participant. For example, this is one of the very famous photo that was shared by a father where he lost his very young daughter 48 years back. And using a very huge network of sharing in Europe, in Middle East, in India, in America, finally after 48 hours, because of so many tests and other things, the father could able to find his lost daughter after 48 hours because of Facebook. This is one of the success story. For example, if you take the minister who are using Facebook, this is one of the common example. Our education minister in Karnataka, Shri Suresh Kumar, he is very Facebook friendly. He has got a very huge fan page in Facebook where everything about the government, he'll not wait for the media, he'll not wait for the newspapers. He opens his Facebook account and he communicates with the people very clearly. For example, this is a declaration of a holiday through his Facebook. It was announced almost at 10:30 in the night, where he has not waited for the media to come and announce. He just published in Facebook and Twitter in a single line saying that tomorrow, the Saturday of November 9th, will be a holiday. So, of course, it was some related to something judgment related to Ayodhya. But I'm saying that a minister of a state can use social media to reach out a large mass. So today, even the education minister, today morning, he has published a post which is going viral, where Times of India falsely reported a case So he has not waited Times of India to publish the clarification tomorrow morning. So to as a response to the mainstream media, social media can be used. This is an example, of course, where our education minister used for where a report against him was published, and he came up with some good photos of false report appeared in Times of India as per the education minister's claim. So we'll come back to another Facebook, another very important group that itself is Twitter. Many are there in Facebook, but Twitter activism needed more attention these days because Twitter is more powerful when compared to Facebook. Facebook's fan page and the readership, the reach is more, but the power of Twitter is very high. I'll tell you why in the coming few slides. This is Jack Dorsey, the co-founder and chairman of Twitter. This is a logo of Twitter. Wherever you can find this logo on mainstream media like electronic media or even all print media carries tweet of every person. So this symbol says that this is a tweet. This is the main office of Twitter at San Francisco. Now it's a crore business. It's not just a social media platform alone. So to join Twitter, most of you may be in Facebook, maybe in Twitter also. Those who are not there in Twitter, I wish you be a Twitter active, be a part of Twitter. Only thing what you have to do is have an username or have an email, have a password with you, just log in. Of course, twitter.com/login will be the URL. Go there and you can create a Twitter account within less than 10 seconds. So this has got a concept of followers and following. In Facebook, there is a concept of friends. You have to send a request to one person. They have to accept your request. Then only you can become friends. But Twitter does not have that rule. It has got a very followers rule where you can follow anybody on Twitter. You may be followed by them, may not be followed by them. You can follow any person you want. So if you take the global audience, around 386 millions of people are there on Twitter with active mode, and India is one of the country. We are in the 8th position as far as Twitter reach is concerned. So compared to male and female ratio using the Twitter, male are more using Twitter as per the official data reports. If you take one of the case study where the Twitter is used for large campaigns, it's one of the successful campaign by Prime Minister Modi from 2013 onwards. Even till date, he is using Twitter as the basic platform to reach millions, to reach media, to declare whatever he want to do. So he is such a statement, or our Prime Minister using Twitter in a very large scale, in a very popularized way. Of course, many are using in different states as different chief ministers also. So it's one of the most popular tweet of 2014 that "Achhe din aane wale hain." This is a quote used by the Prime Minister when he was selected, and that word "Achhe din" is a tweet word. So what is the advantage of Twitter itself? Of course, as a strategy of using Twitter, you can have official declaration from authentic handles. If Facebook post is one, Twitter posting considered to be official in everywhere. Maybe in Washington DC, but the Trump, the president of America, he may have a tweet that is official. From Prime Minister office, it is official. From CM office of Karnataka or any state, it is official. So official declaration comes through the things. It is measurable. You can count the number of tweets and retweets in an hour. You can share. You can make it viral also. You can reach to the targeted users. You can take the feedback also. It's very, very easy to access all the tweets. Of course, we can use in different forums. You can use for fundraising also. Several fundraising happens. Today, fundraising is happening for a heart patient in Vikram Hospital, right? Some are trying for that. Of course, you can help a needy through the Twitter. So a lot of things are happening. You can share the contents and all, where you can make use of Twitter in a very large scale, not just sharing opinion. So the entire Egypt revolution, what happened few years back, is only because of Twitter. The revolution was led by the digital activism. The government got changed, the rulers got changed. Now the Egypt is totally different what was there before. So the entire Egypt revolution was one of the major feedback, right? What happened in the beginning of this decade as far as the social revolution is concerned. This is an interesting example in Karnataka, in Bangalore, where uh, a husband and a wife, they couple, they walking through the road. I mean, after the dinner at night near Sankey Tanky, two people came and snatched the chain of the lady. So what the husband did was he did not inform the police. He just tweeted saying that this got happened. So at the end, what happened is next day the police of that police station of that area got arrested. In the sense, the thief was a police himself. So what this husband did was, the husband could, I mean, he didn't went to the police station to file a complaint because the police himself may be the thief there. So what happened was, the cybercrime police took the case, they examined what happened, and at the end, the Mukhya Pede here in Karnataka, you can see Mukhya Pede and Home Guard Sere, means two police officers himself got caught. They were the thief, and this is the reach of the tweet. So tweet can be a forum where you can register complaints. You can reach to the police station, even a tweet. And Government of India has made it is very clear that you can register your online complaint through the Twitter also. So Government of Karnataka, I mean, when our Siddaramaiah ji was the chief minister, he started all communication in public from Government of Karnataka officially through Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is a very common example and very interesting. See, this is a common man's tweet by a person by name Madhusudan. He is from Mysore and he went to Badrinath and he caught because of the landslide there. What he did was he just did a tweet to the local MP Pratap Simha of Mysore saying that I'm in Badrinath, I'm stuck in last 3 days. So MP Pratap Simha immediately contacted the officers there and he made all arrangements. And of course, the same person, Madhusudan, he thanked Mr. Pratap Simha in the Twitter itself saying that, thank you, sir, your personal assistant called and everything is done and evacuated. They will evacuate it tomorrow 7 a.m. So a common man can reach an public representative through Twitter. No need of waiting for him in his office. No need of writing a lengthy letter, submit, influence, call these, that people, MLA and all, nothing. Use Twitter. Tag the Twitter handle of the concerned person. You will get the social benefit. This is a very, very interesting example from Sushma Swaraj when she was the Foreign Affairs Minister. A lady by name Agrata Dinakaran, she was in Germany, she was in Berlin, she lost her passport, she lost her money, she lost everything and she reached the, she wanted to, reach out the embassy. What she did was she did a tweet to Sushma Swaraj, I am so and so, and this has happened. Sushma Swaraj immediately informed the embassies and within few hours, Agnata replies saying that I was contacted by the embassy and Sushma Swaraj herself. They were helping me out. I'll be at the embassy tomorrow. See, a lady in a foreign land, she lost everything, passport to money. She don't have anything, but she had a Twitter account. She tweeted, she got all the help from the Government of India. So Twitter is not just a forum where you can just tweet something and come out. You can help people. You can get yourself help from the big people like a foreign affairs minister. This is a tweet of the Commissioner of Bangalore yesterday night saying that today, from tomorrow, you don't need any pass to move in Bangalore between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. So this is a very clear message to all Bangaloreans. So what to do? They were in confusion. Should I get a pass to move out? Should I have something to take? So it was very clearly mentioned by the Commissioner of Police, Bhaskar Rao, through the Twitter. So he used Twitter as a forum to inform the common public of Bangalore. This is another example of today morning. Captain Manivandan, one of the senior IAS officer of Bangalore, he tweeted that there are so many buses waiting for you in Majestic, which is going to Shivamogga, Kalaburgi, Mangaluru, different places in different platforms. So he used this to reach out to the public using Twitter. So Twitter is a forum where you can officially use. Bhaskar Rao is a commissioner, is a very senior government officer. Manivandan is a government officer. How they are reaching public? They are not calling the press. They are not reaching through the media today. Of course, it will take time. Of course, media, the electronic media can penetrate. However, they are using their own Twitter handles to reach out to the people. So you can share the opinion also. The recent example of Babita Pogat, she came out with a very strong opinion about the corona spread in India, corona awareness, which went viral. So we can use your Facebook account, Twitter account for reaching your opinions. This went viral when Prime Minister Modi lighted the diya soon after that 9 p.m. talk. So there are some viral posts which is going out also. This is an example of a common citizen where when terrorist attack were continuously happening in India, way back in 2012, 13 and 14, some of the terrorist organizations were officially using Twitter. So a common man from Bengaluru tweeted to Twitter saying that why you are allowing the terrorist organization to access Twitter? So a small tweet that resulted in suspension of so many Twitter accounts of the terror organizations. So as a common man, you can do wonders sometimes the government can't do. So for example, of course, I'll skip for some of the things. Of course, one media, of course, ANI is a very prominent news agency which did a mistake where it's misquoted a very senior person like Mohan Bhagavat of an organization. Then immediately that misquote was handled where it was clearly pointed out through Twitter, and then so many journalists they reported, misquoted what Mohan Bhagavat said on certain marriages abroad. So then the Pirefitter, one of the senior editor of India Today, he said unconditional apology where Mohan Bhagavat was misquoted by the media. Kiran Bedi, he was saying the same thing. Chetan Bhagat, he said it was misquoted by the media and they came through Twitter. And Sagarika Ghosh, she was in CNN IBN, she also apologized. So there are a lot of people who will realize that this was happened. Sometimes some unnoticed talents of the rural India can be taken to a large account. For example, Anand Mahindra, senior person and senior entrepreneur, you knowing him well, he came across a small tweet and about the Srinivas Gowda, who is a Kambala runner in Mangaluru. So he tweeted, it was taken by the Kiran Rijiju, the Honorable Youth Affairs Minister of Government of India. So Mangaluru's Kambala's a runner, Srinivas Gowda, his achievements were noticed by Government of India. Many celebrities across the world. He was equated with Usain Bolt also because of a tweet. So a tweet can generate opinion. A tweet can reach many people. So this is another example where a common student, a common person by name Adar, she was traveling in a train where he saw that some girls were subjected for human trafficking. They were taken somewhere. So what he did, he could not keep quiet. He tagged the Indian Railway Ministry on Twitter, and he just said that there is human trafficking happening in my compartment in Gorakhpur. So the result was, in few minutes, the railway police were approached by the Indian Railway, and the human trafficking was stopped, and the people were taken. So the tweet can be used in a very large scale for that. So this is again a very important tweet from the Mars. Once the Mangalayaan was happened, then the confirmation of reach of that device to that land of moon was declared after a tweet. Tweet was used as the what do you call a testimony or used as a proof that it is reached there. So this is one very important tweet. It was taken as mass orbiter tweet, and that tweet was happened immediately, and the ISRO declared that yes, the mission is successful. So by and large, Twitter campaigns works on actually the hashtags. You should require a specific wordings and with the hash in the front that is called hashtag. And India fights Corona, Youth fights Corona, COVID-19, Corona warriors. All these are different hashtags where you can use for the mobilization. This is a campaign which ran with the hashtag called Ready to Wait in Kerala, which got social media attention. Again, Ready to Wait. and there were two different kinds of movements going, ready to pray, ready to wait, and times now channel came with a poll, and of course two hashtags were measured by the online Twitter poll, and one was, I mean, backed and another one was taken. I mean, there will be polls online, there will be some campaign going on, and all these campaigns are going on based on hashtags. So we should come out with a good hashtag. So this is a hashtag which was used by the Baluchistan people. Baluchistan is an area in Pakistan where in 2015 our Prime Minister addressed the issues of Baluchistan, where there are a lot of things were happening in Baluchistan, which was addressed using Twitter there. So if you take the social media wake up, of course there are a lot of incidents happening. So this is an example on my own. In 2013, there was a bomb blast in Malleshwaram, and I was one of the first generation Twitter user in Karnataka, in Bangalore also. So when that blast happened, everybody, I mean, in that area, they thought that a cylinder got blasted, but we were there. I mean, couple of yards. I mean, we were there in that area where it's very common in the morning. Then we rushed there, we saw something happened, and I was the first one to tweet. That tweet is also available now, saying that this is a bomb blast. And of course, police came and the media got reported based on the tweet. And I had an interview with on One India Canada, One India other things also. So this is one example. So even few days back, an Infosys engineer was arrested because of his post, which was criticized by many, and he lost his job also, and the police arrested him. In the sense, you should not tweet where the communal harmony of the state or the society can be harmed. So we have to use social media for positive things, for negative things. So this is a positive use. TikTok nalli aushadha kelida mahilege mukhyamantri neravu. So a person asked medicine through TikTok, and the government was very quick to provide the medicine. So yesterday, day before yesterday, government, I mean, there was a notice given to an IAS officer whose tweet was sparking some communal harsh in the digital platforms, and the court has given a notice for them. So it should not happen. So there are some notice given, you can see that. So this is again an example from Jharkhand, where Twitter was taken by the chief minister to use, I mean, to reach the corona affected, lockdown affected people in a mass. He used Twitter also. This is a personal experience where Pema Khandu, chief minister of Arunachal Pradesh, you know, it's a very far northeast state for India. So Arunachal Pradesh chief minister, he sent to me, I mean, from his office, a list of Arunachal students where they are struggling to get grocery and other things in different part of the city at 27 places. What I did was, using my social media forums, using my network, I reached all the 28 places using a small team where around 350 Arunachal Pradesh students got benefited. They got groceries and everything. The same thing happened in Belgaum, in Hubballi, in Mangalore, in Davanagere. So whatever the information I got from the chief minister office, from the Arunachal Pradesh, I did my thing, and only through Twitter. Twitter is a forum where I used, and the chief minister thanked me as well as government of Karnataka on Twitter. So where all these are happening in Twitter only. So I am saying Twitter is a forum where you can do a lot of things beyond sharing information. You can reach out the corona, I mean, affected people, the students and everything. So recently one video was viral about the onion prices and the onion growing farmer from Chitradurga. So that video reached the chief minister office through Twitter, and chief minister and the CMO office, they reached that agriculturist immediately. This is another example where a lady who wanted to travel in between the lockdown, she had a very small message to DIG Rupa, police inspector, on Twitter, and immediately Rupa forwarded that to concerned office, and because of that, that lady got whatever she wanted, I mean, through the Twitter. This is another example where a farmer from Tamil Nadu who tweeted saying that my cabbage in 3.5 acres, I can't sell, what to do? So many Twitter people, I mean, Twitter artists retweeted and it reached to many MPs, MLAs and people. Even our Bangalore South MP, he purchased the tweet. So you can see the media report. Tweetige 30 ton kosu marata. So what the farmer did was he used Twitter as a forum. So he just tweeted saying that somebody come take the cauliflower and the cabbage, and for one tweet he got benefited from many people. So for the tweet, 30 ton of cauliflower got sold. This is one another example for me also. On 31st March, at around 12:30 p.m., I got a request from a person by name Linda Nemavi from Nagaland, and she was saying that some students are stuck, and she need, that student require immediate help. So I could not do. I don't know what to do immediately. So immediately I reached to one of the guy on Twitter itself, and it was got circulated. Very surprisingly, within 2 hours at 2:30 p.m., all the students got food, groceries, and everything for next 1 month. And I tweeted back. It was again mentioned by the same lady at 2:55 p.m. In the sense, within 3 hours, we are reaching more than 150 students in different parts. So this is possible because of tweet only. So tweet is not just a matter of concern where you can just neglect. So through tweet, groundwork also happening in a very large scale. See the case of a girl by name Pujita, a very smart girl. She missed from our Sri Rampura, Bengaluru. She got missed. She had some problem. She and because of the network on Twitter, you can see the runaway Bangalore teen found in train in Hubballi, and you can see that WhatsApp-led search and Twitter-led search was helped to trace that that girl. The social media's reach played crucial role, says the relative. The Pujita was traced only because of Twitter activism, and I was there for almost 1.5 days in social media very actively till that girl Pujita was traced in Hubballi. Coming to the last end of this information, WhatsApp, as you are knowing, you can have individual messages, group, and broadcast messages. Today, WhatsApp is reaching very highly. That's why Facebook purchased WhatsApp. Today, you can use WhatsApp as an official communication to all DCs, DCPs, ACPs, any police commissioner. You can reach only through WhatsApp. Their number you have to take through WhatsApp. You can log in, you can register complaint. Each day, Bangalore police is getting nearly 800 such WhatsApp-based complaints. You can use WhatsApp to control some of the irregularities. The Anganwadi system in Karnataka today is totally governed, it's totally reached by the WhatsApp system by the government of Karnataka. This is the news clipping of today from Raichur today morning. Where for the sale of the fruits, they are using the WhatsApp. So large amount of fruit was taken. Nearly 10 tons of fruits was sold in Raichuru only because of WhatsApp amidst the lockdown. There is a small WhatsApp group in a village called Jai Shri Ram group where they support each and every financial need of their entire village. No villager today is having financial problem for education and healthcare. So a small WhatsApp group can come in a constructive way like this. Today, a WhatsApp photo can be taken as a photography for the mainstream media also. For example, some people are repairing the road. It's a very small incident. No photographer will go and run and take this photo. Mainstream media may not go there. So the volunteers, what they did was they took a small snap in the WhatsApp and they sent to the media, and the mainstream media will publish this. So news and print media, they are using WhatsApp photos in a very large scale. So in WhatsApp, what is mostly circulated itself is called infographics. Some graphical representation of an information called infographic is shared very widely. So there should be somebody to create this. They will start forwarding from group to group and reaches in a mass in a state. For example, if take during the union budget, what happened? This is an infographic. It's a graphical representation of some information. It is circulated in a very large mass. This may be related to sports. There are sports infographic also. There are governance related infographic also. Or there may be infographic, as I told, the reach of bus today morning, Captain Manivan, IAS officer, shared. This is also another example. So what is the content mobilization strategy itself? In Facebook, we share. In Twitter, we retweet. And in WhatsApp, we have got large amount of forwards. So Facebook, Twitter, and WhatsApp are used as the forum where the communication can be taken at a very large scale. There are some other popular social media sites also. For example, very popular among youngsters these days, the teenagers, the so-called millennial generation, those who are in an age of around 18, 19, 20, is very popular among them is Instagram. It's an American-based photo and video sharing social media network. Of course, today it's owned by the Facebook, and it's very popular also. But the Facebook and Twitter related serious concerns will not be shared through the infogram in Instagram. It is for the mass mobilization, mainly among the youngsters. Pinterest is another very important social media forum. Of course, again, it's American, and it is used to share the images in a very small scale, especially the GIF images and the small videos. It's not so much popular in India. LinkedIn is another social media forum which is used for professional networking, especially the young professionals who are seeking jobs, who want to change the companies, who want to seek promotions. So their resume can be shared, their profiles can be noticed by others. LinkedIn is also very important among professionals. Quora is a social media website where the questions can be asked, or a question asked may be answered by someone. It may be followed, or some answer, if it is wrong, you can edit, or you can have your own answer there. So it is a question and answer based forum, you can see. For example, in Google, whatever the question you post, that is, the Google will give you the answer. For example, if you ask a question, what is the meaning of the word corona? If you ask, there are a lot of answers coming, and most of the answers, what you can see there, is given by the Quora. Google is a search engine. Google just promote Quora, and the Quora is one of the most searched question and answer website in these days. Reddit is an American social media aggregation where web contents, mainly some website register, on that the discussions are happening. Some of the text posts and images will be taken and it will be read. And of course, they are used by only class people, not in a very large mass. So Snapchat, of course, is an photo-based analytical group where only few people will come there. They will post some of the photos and they will have the discover my only option. There are very specific options where it can be taken. It is less familiar in India. The most popular among youths today itself is TikTok, which is a Chinese-based video sharing website. Of course, owned by ByteDance from Beijing. And of course, it was started in 2012, was less popular in the initial days, but slowly, it got the momentum, and in 2016 onwards, and it got very, very popular. And today, many people, many Indians, many people in the sense, almost all students, you can say 99% of the younger generation, they are using this TikTok mainly for the entertainment, especially for the short dance, the lip syncing movement. You can have a song from the background, you can have the synchronization movements, some of the comedies, talented video promotions. Lot of things are happening on TikTok, and few TikTok videos can be shared through the Facebook and other things also today. Wikipedia is another social media platform where anybody can be an editor for Wikipedia. You can be an editor if you are continuously using the Wikipedia pages. There is a sign-in option. You can create your own account. In Wikipedia, most of the things are owned by these editors. Wikipedia is just a forum where the contents are not owned by Wikipedia. Only thing is, you should be a content knowledgeable person. Whenever you are editing that content, what is there in the Wikipedia, if you are adding something, you should come with an authentic URL. You should post a message or a post using a website link or suitable code, and then you are acceptable as an editor. So there are a lot of editing option also. Wikipedia is, I mean, that is another taste. Everybody will not like to be an editor in Wikipedia, but there are people who are very, very particular about the facts and figures. They don't like if the fact is wrong. They want to be an editor, and there are scope for that also. Blogs are another, mini websites where you can create your own content. So, for example, you are a writer, most of you are media students, you have your own opinions, you may have your own write-ups. So, don't wait for anybody. There are many, many blogs available. Maybe WordPress.com, Blogspot.com. There are a lot of websites that are available. In your own name, you can start a blog. That blog will have your own write-ups, your poem, your analytics, your report of something which is not published anywhere. So you can have the blogs of your own, and you can come up with your own publications. Lot of blogs of many journalists are very, very popular and famous. Many journalists in Delhi, they are nationally reputed journalists. They are popular because of their blogs. You can take number of examples. Many anchors in national television, they have got their blogs. So what they do is at the end of the week, they'll go, they'll write something of their week, they'll share the opinions, and most of the blogs are very, very popular. So social media side, posting in Facebook, TikTok is one thing. Serious posting can be happening in a blog. You can be a good blogger also. In your resume, if you are going for an interview to any television house or any media house tomorrow, and if you say that I'm a blogger, I do write blog, and your resume will have a good weightage. They'll see, oh, you're writing something. Your story on this migrant workers was very good. Your story on this social things were very good. So blog is a very important site where you can do that. Of course, YouTube channel, you can upload some of the stories. Of course, it's video based, as you're aware. You can short video, add the commentaries, make a small clippings, and you can upload. So all these are social media handlings. Some of the cares has to be taken. For example, the TikTok has proved very, very, fatal for few people, and many people died because of few parallel collateral damages of the TikTok also. A recent example of Belagavi's Al Sholanki, right? He died because of TikTok thing. So many people can have the online theft also. That is also possible. You should be very careful. So recently there was an police report from the cybercrime branch. Many challenges are coming in different social media platforms. Me20, Sari challenge, Bindi challenge, blue photos. Wherever these social media challenges are coming, you should be careful. It's not that they are very dangerous. Of course, you should be careful. That's all. You should protect your account. Sometimes it is dangerous, and of course, the government of India, the cybercrime department of different states has saying that that is little bit dangerous, especially for the younger teens. It is misused by other things. So in Facebook also, there are a lot of things that the women were targeted by some miscreants, especially the people who sell drugs, the drug mafia. They target some of the, not all, people in social media, especially the girls. That is what the media report. So you should be careful. It's not that all the time the Facebook or other thing are dangerous. It's not that, but you should be careful. 6 final points, and I'll end up. One is you have to increase the positive news always. You should have, there are a lot of positive things in and around the society. So in social media, as a good social media activist, what I have to do is increase the positive things about environment, about literature, about the human values, about the so-called values what you practice in your life, maybe compassion, maybe love, maybe patriotism. All these positive news about Indian Army, about the agriculture, about the farmer, that should be highlighted and it will be promoted. Second point, we have to strongly oppose the fake news. There are a lot of cases where the fake news itself is prioritized. So Facebook, the fake news whenever comes, there is a very big challenge of this younger generation to believe. They don't know what to believe, and they believe that whatever they got is correct. So even many big handles also, they post wrong information also. So whenever such fake news comes, you have to stop there, you have to fact check, and you have to post. For example, there is a fact check agency by name PIB. You are knowing Press Information Bureau. They have got a new wing these days called Fact Check Wing. What they do is, whatever the so-called fake news coming to them, they will put a seal, I mean, it's a digital seal, and saying that this is a fake news and don't forward. So, for example, this is another example published in Greater Kashmir in the name of Greater Kashmir, not by Greater Kashmir. Some people will use the wrong logo of the medias also, and new people will feel that this is a real news. Using the fake logo, they will circulating the fake news. Press Information Bureau has fact-checking things. Even in Karnataka, a local media channel, they are saying that from helicopter the money will be poured in. Helicopter money. Actually, helicopter money is a different economic aspect. That is different, but the way the news was carried is different. So it was a fake news. So the fake news itself is taken into account. Third one is mainstream media ignores some very rural, very remote newses, where the social media can penetrate. As I told the Srinivas Gowda of Mangalore, that news was taken by the social media almost after a week of that event. The event got over 1 week ago, and someone thought that, of course, we'll put in social media, and it went viral. So there are some remote things happening, unnoticed things happening. Social media, or you and me, we can do something better for that. And we require a disciplined and polite language in all posts what you use in social media. For our content mobilization or the strategical part, this is very important. We should not criticize beyond a limit. You should not use unparliamentary word. You should not use a word which will have or which will disrupt the communal harmony. You should be very careful in the language what you select. So based on your language, the people will accept you. How you are criticizing, the way you put your opinions, that's very, very important. You should not abuse women. You should not abuse caste. You should not abuse religion. You should not abuse an opponent person with a different political or any other view. So if at all, if your view is opposite to something in your social media, be careful about the language what you're using. For example, recently a government official, he wanted to make fun of some of the government official, including the chief minister. He got suspended from his job because they have taken this very seriously, right? Unparliamentary words and all were used. So you should be very careful. So the post what you do in Facebook, Twitter and all, it should be very, very credible. In the sense, you should have that credible facts with you. It should not be something forwarded without any fact check. It should be credible. It should be true. It should be authentic. It should be fact checked. If you are posting regularly the non-credible post, in the sense it cannot be trusted, nobody will trust you. Nobody will share your post. Nobody will forward in WhatsApp. Nobody will retweet your tweet. For example, there are some people who are very, very credible. For in Karnataka, we have got a Twitter person, even in Facebook, he is very popular by name Kiran KS. He has more than 1.5 lakh followers on Twitter. A very common man. Many journalists will follow him because whatever he posts, he will do a research, he will come with facts, credible points, and he'll post. So to become a very good social media activist, you have to post with the credible contents. Last and final, we should be very, very consistent. In the sense, it's not that today you post something and after 5 days you come back. No, you should be alert. Today morning you post, there'll be a lot of comment. You should come with the reply to them also. You should be active. Tomorrow you have to post something. Day after tomorrow you have to come with something else. So you should be consistent throughout. It should not that you are having an account and you are not regular. You are having a Twitter account, you are not active. So having a social media account, then you should have 3 things. You should be consistent, you should be regular, and you should be active. So 3 things should be there for a good social media activist. So what is needed at this digital time itself is we have to have more web reading, more web articles. For example, something happens in America, Washington Post is available. No need of waiting for a newspaper. You can just click Washington Post and read. Something happens in Delhi. There are Delhi medias. Go there. Something happens in Northeast area. There are local Northeast papers. Something is happening in Kashmir. There are Kashmir newspapers. So digital reading itself is required. In Korea, something happens. Have the Korean newspaper with you and read. Something is happening in Pakistan. Go with Al Jazeera, their website and the news people. So we have to have web reading, online content we have to have. relevant and quick updates. You have to have research skills. And very importantly, last one is the Google Alert. If you are using Gmail, very quickly, in Google, there is an option called Google Alert. So you can have some words there. For example, Corona patients in Bengaluru. It's a word. You can use that word there, and you just click a button saying that Google Alert. So to your mail, that word will come. So many people who, especially journalists who are of different breeds, you may be a political beat journalist tomorrow, you may be a crime beat journalist tomorrow, you may be education beat journalist tomorrow. So your search words, if you give to the Google and you select the area, you will get quick updates from Google also. Google is a search engine which will bring you the news in front. From that news, what you can do is you can research quickly within 2 to 5 minutes. Oh, this incident happened, and you can come with the social media posting. You can tweet, you can share in Facebook. So Google alerts also a very important thing. So how to pull information for social media content? Of course, media, that's very important. Social media, different websites you have to follow. Some government related information you have to get, right? There are a lot of government agencies. You should be very clear from which, for example, COVID positive cases, from where you'll get the Ministry of Health. So you should be updated. For all education related things, where you'll get from the college education wing. So you should have that skill of searching the things from where what I will get. So annual report of institutions, a lot of things are happening, and have good social media friends also. So what is needed at the end is have a content, credible content, unique content. Unique content is content on your own. If content is from others, you are just a person who is sharing. You are just a person who is forwarding. You are just a person who is just retweeting. So you should have a content on you, your own content, authentic first-hand information content, strategize it, select the photos for your content, select the videos for your content, or without photos and video also you can upload. Have the catchy words which is attracting the youth, attracting the media also, and you collaborate with some people. Collaborate in the sense, if you are posting something related to vegetable or something on social media related to railways, ministries and other things, tag concerned officers, tag concerned news houses. Then that is what collaborating means. You are taking the help of the government, you are bringing the so-called media into account. So when the media and the government, both of them are working, your tweet will have a value so that you can collaborate. Last thing is you have to mobilize. You have to mobilize what you have did. The sense you have to tell your friends saying that, see, this is a Facebook post I did, kindly share. This is a tweet which I did, share the link also. So you have to mobilize. In the initial days, to be a stable social media activist, we need to focus on these 4 contents. I mean, 4 aspects: content generation, strategizing properly, collaborating with the like-minded people, and mobilizing that. That's all I wanted to share with you in this 60-minute presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Rajesh Padmar. It is a very interesting talk, and most of them they have sent a message. It is very informative, and also it is very useful our media students. And this is this kind of lectures we are, of course, now in the situation is helped us to organize this kind of lecture to webinar, and many people have joined different parts of the country, and our university, especially the Bangalore Central University, all teachers who have joined, and they have encouraged their students also join this. It is very, of course, I have seen many of them, they have sent the message, is very informative and very useful, and I think we can have some more these things, these kind of lectures. Right now I want to say my sincere thanks to Rajesh Padmahar. Based on our just request, he has agreed and he came and he has given a wonderful and beautiful and lecture. Of course, very informative lecture. It will be definitely useful to the all media journalism students, and of course those who are very active in the social media. So thank you, sir. On behalf of my department and the University of Bangalore Central University, and the journalism teachers from Bangalore University, on behalf of them, I'll thanks, and very, very thankful.
Professor, I have a question for him. Can I ask him?
Now we will open to the interaction. Any questions you can raise, and Sarita, you can coordinate that lecture. Sorry,
Surely,
any
sir.
questions? Any questions if raised
Yes, sir.
the students and others. Sarita,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
please coordinate if there is any questions, queries. Rajesh will answer that.
Yes, sir. Uh,
You can
Sarita,
raise
I
the
have a question for Rajesh.
yes, sir.
Sarita?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Rajesh, good morning, and it was a fantastic talk.
Sir, you can introduce yourself, sir. You can introduce
It's okay.
yourself.
That is okay. Rajesh, I have one
Introduce
question.
and come and you will open your video and introduce yourself, and then you can ask, sir.
It's okay.
No, you have to, sir. You have to. Sir,
Rajesh,
Mohan is a father.
I am a retired journalist.
Who is teaching in our department. And let us, you can introduce yourself, sir.
Rajesh, Nan Mohan Babu Anteli. I am a guest faculty in BCU. Nange, I have one question. You were giving an indication saying that Twitter is the one. I mean, most of the governments and organizations prefer Twitter as the official this thing and not other social media platforms. Can you elaborate as to why Twitter is the most preferred platform?
Why I can't say, because it happened. It happened in the sense Twitter was taken by most of the people from the governance actually.
Okay.
In short, giving the messages, 1 line, 2 line. Earlier it was
So it was
130
140 characters and now it has been expanded.
280
There is no word
extra.
limit.
It happened as an organic thing. It's not that the government has declared that Twitter was used. Of course, it was a global phenomenon. Before India, different other global forums, in the sense in America, in England, in France, these countries were using Twitter as the government official things.
Okay.
Even in the White House also.
Okay.
So maybe it is a Western copy. We don't know. I don't know. Even today, Facebook is also official. You can find a blue tick there in the Facebook and in the Twitter official handles.
Yes.
But it's happening that Twitter is selected by the government. Don't know why.
There is no particular reason or.
I feel that there is no specific reason for that. But available best, maybe Twitter.
Okay. And the second part of it, you were, this is again, you were mentioning, saying that large number of people follow social media. It's, digitization going by your own yardsticks. Only 50% of India is connected to internet. So that means nearly there's a huge digital divide. And do you think that, this can be bridged in the coming days?
Of course, the bridge is there. There is a digital divide between the urban and the rural. But in the coming days, it will go off. In the sense, those who are at the age of 30s, 40s, most of the Indians at the age of 30 today, if you take a rural area, a person at the age of 30, they are somehow connected with the smartphone. Almost.
Yeah. Yes.
Beyond 30, 35, of course, there are genuine reasons. So if you take next 10, 15 years or so, a person with an age of 60 also, maybe digitally he is literate. Okay. Of course, our digital number is increasing.
Yeah.
That we have got today 70 crores of internet connections in India. It means 60 crores we don't have.
Yeah.
In the sense we have crossed almost 50%. That connection will go. For example, because of the corona lockdown, most of Indian teachers became online teachers. Yes. If the situation demands, we can be digitally forwarded. For example, after demonetization, digital transaction in India shot up. And today also we are having the online classes going in almost all educational institutes. Yeah. So there are some occasions where we'll come up with more assertive things. And as I believe that in next 20 years, we'll have more digital literate people.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Next we have Madhumala 2208. Ma'am, you have a question, you can pitch in. I think we have lost her. So, sir, I had a question. You ended your presentation saying that to become a stable social media activist, you referred to that particular word. So I was wondering for our generation, future generation who want to become social activists, there's some kind of discipline that has to be involved in usage of social media, because it's a very vast world out there which can be very distracting. So what are those little practices that anyone can inculcate right now in order to sort of cultivate a stability in using social media, be it for activism or for communication or for raising awareness? If you could throw some light on it.
Only two things as a social media activist I say. One is be open to all views. If a view is against you, which is opposing you, have a patience, have a tolerance for that opinion, accept all views. If at all that view is opposing, it's against you, don't come with a kind of opposing words where the freedom of expression will be curbed. There are a lot of things are happening in the social media where if at all if you are person with a different opinion, you should not hate. Don't hate any person because of a different opinion. So that is number one.
Okay.
Accept everybody's views. The sense you should agree to disagree. The sense if at all there is a disagreement, agree that of course we do have common disagreements. Agree to disagree, have patience, have respect for the opponent person in his youth. Number one. Number second is whenever you are quoting a fact, you are standing with something, stand with that only, stand with the truth. For example, if you are quoting something saying that this and this happened, and today you are changing in the evening, sorry, so many politicians do that. Don't do that in social media. Of course,
Yes, sir.
if the fact was wrong and if it is the same, and you can come with an apology saying that my post was wrong, I am apologizing here. I am saying that if at all something you are posting, post with credible things, with the fact check, then don't post. Otherwise, you don't post. Once you post, stand with the comments and post what you did. If you are repeatedly, in the sense, if a person is repeatedly apologizing and then he is not a stable social media activist, you should come with credible facts.
So building a credibility is key here.
Yes.
Yes.
Otherwise, the people will not trust you.
Yes, sir, certainly. We have a question from Periyar SJ, sir. You can go
Yes.
ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you, Rajesh sir, for your wonderful, intelligent presentation, along with the examples, relevant examples you provided with us, with a screenshot of that. That was very helpful to get the right picture of the use of social media. Question is just taking forward. The whole this one is how individually we can make better use of the social media, different platforms that you very well you explained to us. I am taking you to little further, using the same social media. How can we adopt the social media platforms to institutions, a group, a local society, so that the local society itself engages itself with the dissemination of their news? Say the word is that citizen journalism we are talking about. So could you also give your opinion how we can adopt the social media platforms for local communities to share their own news locally, so that the more authentic news we can get, because the mainstream media doesn't reach nook and corners of the villages.
Yeah, that's why for locally, you should have the local important things you have to prioritize. You have to understand your area. In the sense, if it is the geographic area, you have to understand. If you are representing in university, you have to understand. So all problems or the communication things can be addressed through Twitter. For example, students may have a lot of problems. So then as an university or as an academic institute, their problem can be answered using Twitter. Lot of education institute today, they are doing that. Twitter can, of course, Twitter is open, but still you can address their problem. Indian Railways will address, Foreign Ministry will address. So they are not neglecting even a small case. If the train is going somewhere in a very remote village of a state, maybe somewhere in Gujarat, if a small request comes from that village, they will not neglect. So in social media, what you have to do is you should not neglect even a small request, very small request. So once you start answering them slowly, one day or 2 day you can't give justice. Gradually.
ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ರೆಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೆ, ಅದೇನು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಡೇಟ್ ಹಾಕು 3 ಇವತ್ತೆಷ್ಟು 6ನೇ ತಾರೀಕಲ್ವಾ?
So you have to give
Hello?
attention to small requirements and small queries also. So once you do that, gradually after 6-8 months, you'll be popularized among a small group. And as I told, you have to tag concerned people. For example, I tag sometimes some central ministries like Smriti Irani or Defense Minister Nirmala Sitharamanji. So if I tag them, they will come to know the issue very quickly. They will respond. Many tweets are retweeted. They were answered by them also in different scales. So these people who is a social media activist, I'm saying to those people, they are not just ministers. Smriti Irani is not just a minister. She's a very good social media activist. Nirmala Sitharaman is just not a minister. He's a social media activist. There are certain big list of union ministers, some very good chief minister who are very passionately involved in social media. Not their PA or office will do. They themselves are very important. So you should collaborate with them. If you have got some problem in your area of some farmer or some person who is suffering from something, who should get some benefit of government, or your student, she should get some scholarship from the government, give a tag to HRD ministry, give a Twitter tag to concerned ministry. Within hours they will get. There are a lot of people. Maybe you are aware that a girl from Mandya 4 years back, she wanted a loan from syndicate bank. She could not get. What she did was, she tagged PM of India saying that the syndicate bank, I'm sorry if it is not syndicate bank, some bank in that area, Mandya, was not giving her the loan. Immediately from the Prime Minister office, the bank manager was contacted, and within 2 days she got her 4 lakh educational loan. So what I mean to say is, slowly build that activism where you collaborate the government officers and the local media. Then you can be a good social media activist.
Thank you.
Thankfully, even the Prime Minister also follows me. Many other chief ministers also follow me because of the content what I post in social media. Content is very important. If your content is good, you will get good followers.
Thank you, Periyar sir. Indeed, that
Thank you.
was an essential question. Sir, next we have a question from one of our students, Lieutenant Colonel Vamshi Mohan VSM. Sir, I request you to go ahead with your question now.
Good morning, Mr. Rajesh. It was in line. Did a very educating and informative presentation with a deluge of resources. My question is, as a
Vamsi,
journalist,
1 minute. Vamsi, you can introduce yourself, Vamsi. You are, he's a Lieutenant Colonel. He's joined our department. He's pursuing his studies in our department. Let's introduce you, Vamsi, yourself.
as the professor has just mentioned, I'm a serving Army Lieutenant Colonel, and I've taken a sabbatical of 2 years to pursue my master's in BCU in communication. So as I was requesting you, how important is having a followership in Twitter for an activist? Obviously, it is very important. So can you just explain us the strategies to improve the followership?
To improve the followership, number one, we require consistent and very regular activism. You should not be active for 1 or 2 days. You should be consistently active, number one, and select an area. For example, you are from army. You may be heard of a very famous person by name Gaurav Pradhan or Major Gaurav Arya. So these are people, some very known Twitter handles. They tweet on military affairs only. If any shelling happens in the border, they will come with a tweet. So those who are watching them, in the sense their tweets, they will come to know that they are tweeting only on the military affairs, only on the defense issues, only on the defense purchasement. And so they selected that area, and their tweets are taken by the government also. If at all there is any opinion by them, any sharing with them, anything happens to defense and other things, these two people are very much concerned, Gaurav Pradhan and some other people, Arya, Mr. Arya. So likewise, you have to select some area. For example, there are some Harsha Bogle. He is not a cricketer, but he selected his area as cricket. He comments on cricket, he criticizes on cricket, he analyzes on cricket. He has got very good follower. Of course, he is a very popular commentator also before he became a good social media activist. What I mean to say is, you should have an area first, regular tweets on their area, unique tweets, in the sense it is not copied from anybody. Your own contents in that field will regularly make you a good social media activist, and your followers will quickly increase. It will increase if you get a retweet from a bigger handle. For example, you tweet something, tag some bigger people, in the sense some person who has got more fan base, for example Amitabh Bachchan or somebody, or Dalai Lama or somebody, or any union minister who have got more than million viewerships. If they tweet your tweet, then it will goes viral. For example, a lady from Malleshwaram last week by name Kshama Naragund, she's a very common youth, she's a social media activist, Kshama. She posted a small vegetable vendor's photo in Facebook, and which has got a circulation over 60,000 in a day. Just a Facebook post saying that that vegetable vendor gives vegetable for free of cost for the migrant workers from a different state. That's all the post. One photo of a vegetable vendor and that. So Kshama is popular in bringing certain human values each day. So she is popular. Look, I'm giving a small example. Likewise, there are a lot of people who select an area, continuously tweet in that area. So they will become popular in that area, and their followers continuously increase. Even I selected one forum, or I selected an area. That's why I have got a good followers. I mean, good in the sense, a number of followers I have. That's why it runs. So select an area, be consistent, be regular. It will take time. It will take 2-3 years so that the people will notice you.
Anyone
Thank you.
else?
Thank you.
Who?
One more question, Rajesh. Social media, I mean, many people feel it's more abused than used, because there is absolutely no control over the media or the medium, and whatever is tweeted or posted on the Facebook, many a time people even on the WhatsApp, even without application of their mind, they forward it, retweet it, or whatever they do. Don't you think it's causing more harm than, ensuring good of the society?
Exactly. The fake news is a big challenge for everybody. We, even from many government schemes, they have been misproportionated, and because of so many things, there are fake news like anything. Even some people will believe. For example, if a ruling party, for example, one party is ruling, so someone will create a fake poster, and the ruling party person himself feel that this is true and he'll share. Later he'll realize that this is a fake. In the sense, many people will believe fake as true. So this is a big challenge for everybody, especially the people in media. Even one of the very prominent Karnataka media published a fake news which was circulating in the WhatsApp, and after 2 days they published that it's apology. We came to know that this is not a good news and all. Even the media people, in the journalists also, they are worried of the fake news. Government is worried of fake news. Young generation, they are worried of fake news. They don't know what to do. So fake news is a big factory, a group of liars. They create a news and they'll circulate, and people will believe that this is a news. So what we have to do is we have to cross check. We have to cross check whether what is true and what is not true. So as an responsible social media activist, you have to double check before you post. Don't post in a hurry. Don't post saying that I am the first one to post, I should get more likes or more tweets. Have a fact check. Credibility is more important rather than the number of likes you get, number of popularity you get from the social media. Once your credibility is lost, everything is lost. That's why credibility maintenance is very important. So as a social media activist, what you have to do is whatever the news comes for us, you should check from 3-4 corners or from the 360 view, verifying the fact whether it's true or false. So the big challenge today itself is fake news.
Are there any measures? Are there any ways?
Yeah, we have to give to the PIB, Press Information Bureau. They will come with 60 minutes with a fact check. We have to wait till then whether this statement is true or false. And PIB, as I told you, they have kept a different unit for them. Hopefully in Karnataka, Varta Ilake, maybe Dr. Muralidhar is in charge, even Captain Manivannan is also in charge. even Karnataka PIB Kannada account is also there. They may come out with the Karnataka version of that fact check department. Of course, it may be helpful in future days.
No, but the thing is, PIB, if I am not mistaken, will only look into the government or the
No, no.
official statements. They may not look into, say, law and order issue or some local issues where it's, causing a lot of problems. So is there any other way of cross check? As an individual, is there any way I can cross check and see whether it's a fake one or a genuine one?
One, as you mentioned, is right. The PIB has got its own limitations, and beyond that, if you are very confident that this news is fake, if someone generates a news and you know that this is a fake news, and you can just come with an opposite, with an argument in that comment list. For everything in social media is two-way, in the sense if the
You
person
can
posts,
always comment
you
on
can
it.
use the comment box. In the tweet also, you can reply. So in that, you should be posting the relevant fact. Whatever you posted is not correct. This is a fact. For that, we have to be very active, vigilant. You should have a group of active people also. There are good number of such social media active forums also coming with some facts and figures. There are people involved in this also. I mean, the societies of different taste. Some people are just behind the fact checking itself. They are not worried about anything. Then they are worried about only the fact check machinery. That's why there are people coming with this. That's a good sign also.
But unfortunately, I mean, do you agree with me that the forwards and the retweets and the this thing happen so fast? By the time somebody really gives a fact, enough damage would have been done.
Yes, a lot of damage would have done, and it's a world thing in the sense the rumors are spreading, people are dying, communal things are because of, for example, that Palgar issue itself is based on the rumors in the sense initially. That's what the report agency is saying. Many people commit suicide also. For example, the result days, especially at the SSLC, PUC levels, are for fun also. They'll say that you failed in this subject. Later, that after committing suicide, the parents will come to know that he got wrong information. He committed suicide. Actually, he's passed. So, lot of mistakes, damages are happening. So many fake photos of girls has been shown to some families, and so many marriages are being broken. So many fake allegations are made against an employer, and his promotion is stopped. So many employees got lost their job also. In Arab countries, these are things that are happening. For example, those people went from Kerala, they are working in Gulf countries, they posted something in Malayalam, and some people targeting them, they translated their Malayalam comment into English. While translating, they did exactly opposite. What they commented in English, they have translated exactly opposite content, and they're given to Dubai governments, and government send them out of the companies. So this is also a fake story that's happening. Fake news is getting. So a lot of damage is done because of fake news. So by and large, to say fake news is a big challenge for our society in future. In future, lot of youngsters are affected with this because of fake news. Youth are losing jobs. Youth are getting divorces. Lot of divorce cases, if you analyze in cybercrime department, unfortunately, it's because of fake news allegation given to either the wife's house or wife's parent or the husband's house. Something is happening. Some fake news is coming. Some digital morphed images are shown. A lot of things are happening, and the family is collapsing. So fake news is a big threat for the society.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Rajesh.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next, we
I think
have,
we'll
yes, sir. Next, we have a question from one of our student, Kirti Prakash. Kirti, please introduce yourself and go ahead.
Hello, sir. My name is Kirti. I'm a student of BCU. Thank you for the talk about how social media can be used effectively and how it is advantageous when in responsible hands. Sir, my question is, when you mentioned that there are certain advantages in social media, like it can reach the last person also, it can reach very remote places and all that. What if mainstream media also tries to cover up this disadvantage that it has, and it works more and reaches the last man? and then we can have credible news that goes through the media organization, and we can possibly have lesser fake news and all that. So can that be a possibility, like your views on that?
Yes, actually that is a duty or the so-called dharma or kartavya of the media. Media is set for that. The people believed media for this reason only, that saying that whatever I am listening from media, what I am reading in the newspaper is true. That is a trust a common person always keeps on a media house. But media is mishandled because of institutional leanings. Some media will stand with some politicians, some ideologies that media should not do. Media should be transparent, media should be genuine, media should give the news for the relevant facts and justice. If media is not doing, then a common man will have social media as an alternative. As I said, media is actually the prime forum to reach all these things. Why social media penetrated? Because it is individuals post or individuals report that is getting highlighted in a, if it is in a small scale, it will be circulated. Actually, all journalists in media, they should be very much neutral. They should not be biased. But a lot of the cases, that is not the truth. A journalist has got so many biased views these days. That should not happen. We need to create such journalists who are with the news, with the truth, and they will speak only truth. They are not for or against on their beliefs. So there are people who misquote from the source, from the Jilla level, from the Taluk level, from the Panchayat level. If they want to give a story, they give the color, the heading in a different way so that the entire news will have a different color. That should not happen. For example, even as media became an industry, I'll give you a simple example in Bangalore. What happened with one of my friends? She was a journalist in a very reputed newspaper. She went with an story where a small area was encroached by a person, and he started a big commercial building there. So that area had a small this one also water containing body, you can call a small lake. So he encroached that land, he's building a big apartment. So of course she went to the concerned government officers and put a big story saying that how the land encroachment happening in that area. Almost the content got typed and it was placed in the news, and the sub editor also approved and the editor also approved. When it went to the main editor, that news was removed from the paper because the person who is making that apartment, he gave a 3 lakh advertisement on the same apartment. So the news, that news is giving all justice and other things, speaking for freedom of expression and everything. The reporter of the same press, they are giving salary to the same reporter. The reporter came with the news, but the news owner, the newspaper's owner had a different view, saying that I want advertisement. The same corrupt person who is building, who is building a building there, encroaching the lake, he is giving the advertisement. So for that newspaper wala, more than the true story, money is important. So this is what happening in media. Media should be neutral. It is not. Very unfortunate. We require neutral journalist, neutral handling of media also from institution level itself. So no commercialization, no leaning. Otherwise, the media will not follow its dharma or kartavya. That's what I said in the beginning.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Next, we have a question from one of our guest faculty, Ms. Tejaswini Devakumar. Ma'am, you can go ahead with your question.
So can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Am I audible? Yes. Hello, sir. First of all, thank you so much for your wonderful insight into the social media. We got to learn a lot of things. Thank you for that. See, what I want to share now, I don't have a question, but I want to share what happened to me recently. So it's not about the social media, but it's about the media actually. I just want to share this with you. It happened to me like last week when I went to my farm in Ramnagar. So what happened was there, when I met the villagers there, they came up to me and they said, can I say what they said in Kannada? Can I repeat it?
Yes, please.
Yes. They came and said that ಮೀಡಿಯಾದವ್ರು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಚಾನೆಲ್ನವ್ರು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕ್ರಾಪ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆಲ್ಲ ಬೆಳೆ ಮೇಲೆಲ್ಲ ನೀರ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೆಳೆನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ, ನಾಶ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ರೇಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಮೀಡಿಯಾದವರೇ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನಾವ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದನ್ನ ಅದನ್ನೊಂದು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀವಿ ಟಿವಿಲಿ, ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ನವ್ರು ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಬೆಳೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾಶ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ, ಮಳೆ ಬಂದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಾಳಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ, ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ. ದೆನ್ ದಟ್ ಲೇಡಿ ವಾಸ್, ದೆನ್ ಐ ಆಸ್ಕ್ಡ್ ಹರ್, ಇದ್ಯಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಎಲ್ಲ? ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ, ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಅವರೇ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೀಗೆ ಹೇಳಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾರ್ಗು. ಟೊಮ್ಯಾಟೊ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೋಡ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡಿ, ಅದನ್ನೊಂದು ಫೋಟೋ ತೆಗಿತೀವಿ, ವಿಡಿಯೋ ತೆಗಿತೀವಿ, ಈರುಳ್ಳಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೋಡ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾಶ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ, ಅದೊಂದು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಬಾಯ್ ಬಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ವರ್ಡ್ ಶಿ ಸೆಡ್. ನೀವು ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹತ್ತು ಸುರಿದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿ, ಸೊ ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸರ್? ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಲೈಕ್, seriously, this was so ridiculous when somebody comes and says this. And this happened like last week, not yavaglo agidalla, this happened like last week. Those people came and told me when I went to my farm, and they were like, hingella bandbit heltare, what should we do? And she was telling. Yeah, I mean, how is this? I mean, in that time ali, I think media has to be more responsible. They can't be behaving so. This was really, I don't know, it was so ridiculous. It was really.
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನೊಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಲ ಮೇಡಮ್.
ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್.
ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಈ ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬಹುದು ನಿಮಗೆ. ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಆದಾಗ, ಹಲೋ ಆಮ್ ಐ ಆಡಿಬಲ್? ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ?
Yes sir.
ಸೊ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್, ಆಗ ಒಬ್ರು ಕಮೆಂಟೇಟರ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಬೌಲರ್ಸ್ ಗಳಿಗೆ, ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ಸ್ಮನ್ ಗಳಿಗೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಬೌಲ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಹೇಗೆ, ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಹೇಗೆ, ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟಿನ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಕಲಿಸಿದ್ವಿ, ಹೌ ಟು ಪ್ಲೇ ಅನ್ನೋ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಕಲಿಸಿದ್ವಿ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಹೌ ಟು ಲಿವ್, ಅದರ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಲಿಸಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅವರು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟಿಗರಾದ್ರು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯರಾಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸಿಂಗ್, ದುಡ್ಡು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದ್ದು ಕೂಡ ಜರ್ನಲಿಸಂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಮರಾ ಹಿಡಿಯೋದು, ಹೇಗೆ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಬರೆಯೋದು, ಹೇಗೆ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಇದು ಹೇಳಿಕೊಡೋದು ಒಂದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಸತ್ಯ, ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕತೆ, ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್, ಸತ್ಯಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರನೇ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡು, ಇದನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡೋದು. ಈಗ ನೀವು ಇಂಡಿಯಾದ ಜರ್ನಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ 50s, 60s, 70s ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅದನ್ನ ಇಡೀ ಜನರು ಯಾಕೆ ನಂಬಿದ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇ ವರ್ ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಕಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಟು ದ ಜರ್ನಲಿಸಂ. ಅವ್ರು ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಕಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರು. ಈಗ ತೀತಾ ಶರ್ಮಾ ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಅವರು ಯಾವ ಜರ್ನಲಿಸ್ಟು ಅಂತ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲದಿರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇಡೀ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಪತ್ರಿಕೋದ್ಯಮಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಪಿತಾಮಹ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದ ಕಮಿಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್. ಆ ತರದ ಕಮಿಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಈಗಿನ ಯಂಗ್ಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ತರೋದು? ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಜರ್ನಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ತಂದ್ರೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ₹1,000 ನೋಟ್, ಒಂದು ₹2,000 ನೋಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ he become corrupt. ಅವನ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ ತರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಮನಿ. ಸೊ ನಮಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಜರ್ನಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡೋ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಒಂದು ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇದೆ. ಆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು, ನಾಳೆ ತಯಾರಾಗೋ ಮಕ್ಕಳು, ಅವರು ಹಣಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರನೋ, ಲಾಭಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರನೋ, ಇನ್ಯಾವುದೋ ಲಾಭಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರನೋ ಒಂದು ಚೂರು ಕೂಡ ಅವರ ಪತ್ರಿಕೋದ್ಯಮದ ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಚ್ಯುತಿ ಬರದ ಹಾಗೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಹೇಗೆ ನೋಬಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ವೈದ್ಯ ವೃತ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೋ, ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ಲಿ journalist students should feel that this is a noble profession. Hundreds of thousands of people will believe my report. ಅಂತರವ್ರು ಮುಂದೆ ಬರಬೇಕು. They should not misguide. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಈಗ ಆಂಟಿ CAA ಪ್ರೊಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ವ್ಯಾರ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಡ್ಯಾಮೇಜ್ಡ್. ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಬಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಉರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ರಸ್ತೆ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಅದನ್ನ ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಜರ್ನಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಆಂಟಿ CAA ಪ್ರೊಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, CA ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೀಗೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ ದಟ್ ಜರ್ನಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಏನೂ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಜರ್ನಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಮಾತು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಿತ್ತು, CAA ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೇನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಈ ತರ ಅಲ್ಲ, CA is about this ಅಂತ 2 ನಿಮಿಷ ಹೇಳುವ ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ, ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಕೂಡ ಅವ್ರು ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡಿಂಗ್ ಜರ್ನಲಿಸ್ಟ್. ನಾಟ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಉರಿತಾ ಇರುವ ಬಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಆ ಬಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಉರಿಯದ ಹಾಗೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಬೆಂಕಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಡ, ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ಬಸ್ಸು, ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಒಬ್ಬ ಜರ್ನಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ನೀವು ಏನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತರಕಾರಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ರ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳೆಗಾರನಿಗೆ ಈ ತರ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ, ಜರ್ನಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗಾಟ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಸ್ ಎನಿ ಅದರ್ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್. ಅವನ ಎದುರೇ ಒಂದು ಹಲ್ಲೆ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ, ಅವನ ಎದುರೇ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಡ್ಯಾಮೇಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಅವನ ಎದುರುಗಡೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೆಗ್ನೆಂಟ್ ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ವುಮನ್ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಇವರು ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಲಿಕಾಸ್ಟ್. ಸೊ All these things are happening. So as I said, ಜರ್ನಲಿಸಮ್ ನ ಎಥಿಕ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಜನರೇಷನ್ ನ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ತರುವಂತದ್ದು ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಬಿಗ್ ಚಾಲೆಂಜ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲರೂ ನೀವು ಹಿರಿಯರಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ದೊಡ್ಡವರಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ನಾನು ಬಹಳ ಚಿಕ್ಕವನು, ನಿಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಮೋರ್ ನೀಡೆಡ್ ಟುಡೇ ರಾದರ್ ದನ್ ಜರ್ನಲಿಸ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್. Important.
Correct, sir. Correct. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Next we have a question from one of our students, Ajay Kumar Tambe. Ajay, you can go ahead with your question.
Hello, I'm audible to you? Yeah. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good afternoon, sir. Sorry. Hello.
Yes, good morning.
It was a nice session, and it was nice to hear about the information what are all gathered from you. So I have a question for you, sir. Hello.
Yes, please. Yeah, I'm audible.
ಸರ್, ನೀವು ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಸಂ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ. ಇವಾಗ ನಂದು ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇರೋದಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಸಂ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಸ್ಟ್ ಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ನನ್ನ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ, ನೀವು ಫೇಕ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರಿ, ಹೌದು ಅದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸರ್. ಬಟ್ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಸ್ಟ್ ಗಳು, ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಸ್ಟ್ ಗಳು ಅವ್ರವ್ರದೇ ಆದಂತ ಐಡಿಯಾಲಜಿಗಳು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರವ್ರದೇ ಆದಂತ ಸಿದ್ಧಾಂತಗಳನ್ನ ನಂಬ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ನಂಬ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವ್ರದವ್ರದೇ ಆದಂತ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಐಡಿಯಾಲಜಿ ಇದನ್ನ ನಂಬಿ ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್, ಫೇಕ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಬಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಕಮ್ಯೂನಲ್ ವೈಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಡಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಅಂಡ್ ಹೇಟ್ ಸ್ಪೀಚಸ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ. ನಾನು ಈ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನೋಡೋದಿ ಅವ್ರು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆಗದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಬಹಳ ಜನ ನಂಬ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಬಹಳ ಜನ ಫಾಲೋವರ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಡಿಂಗ್ ಎ ಕಮ್ಯೂನಲ್ ವೈಲೆನ್ಸ್, ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಹೇಟ್ ಸ್ಪೀಚಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಇದ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಅದು ವೈರಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ವೈರಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಅವ್ರ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಗೊಂದಲ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅದರಿಂದ. ಸೊ ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ಸರ್? ವಾಟ್ಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಆನ್ ದಿಸ್, ಲೈಕ್ ಹೇಟ್ ಸ್ಪೀಚಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ?
ನಾನು ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ವಿ ಮೇ ಡಿಫರ್ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್ಸ್, ಬಟ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಓಪನ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಟು ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ. ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಒಂದು ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ದಾಟಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಚರ್ಚೆಯನ್ನ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇ ಸರಿ, ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಸೆಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಈಸ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬಾರ್ದು. ಆ ತರದ ಎಡಮೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ದೇರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕಾನ್ಫ್ಲಿಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದೇರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ರೈಟ್ಸ್. ಸೇ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಸೇ, ಆಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ದ ಅದರ್ ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ಅಷ್ಟು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಮ್ಯುನಲ್ ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಕಾರಣ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫೇಕ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೆನೆಟ್ರೇಷನ್. ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ನಂಬಬೇಕು. ವಾಟ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸೇಸ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಬಿಲೀವ್, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್. ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಇದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಈ ತರ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದು ದಾರಿ. ಇಫ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ, ಎನಿ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೂಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಲಿ, ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್, ವಿತ್ ಎವಿಡೆನ್ಸಸ್, ವಿತ್ ದ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್, ವಿತ್ ದ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಸೀನಿಯರ್ IAS ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸ್. ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಟು ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್, ಈ ತರ ಇದೆ, ಇದನ್ನ ಹೀಗೆ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಲಾ ಅಂಡ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜನ ಸೇರಬಾರ್ದು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೀಗೆ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. ಸೊ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ವಿತ್ ದ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ವಾಟ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್, ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್. ಆ ತರ ನಾವು ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪರ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಹೊರತು ನಾಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಫೇಕ್ ರಿಲಿಜಿಯಸ್ ಹೇಟ್ ಮಾಂಗರ್ಸ್. ಅವ್ರೇನೋ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ದ ರಿಲಿಜಿಯಸ್ ಹೇಟ್ ಮಾಂಗರ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಡ್ ದ ಕಮ್ಯುನಲ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಡೋಂಟ್ go with them. As I told in my presentation, we have to spread the positive values only spread positive values. What is positive in corona time? Stay home, stay happy, that's what government said. What the health initiatives are saying, keep social distance, have facial mask. If the corona warriors are coming, I mean the nurses and everything are coming, cooperate with them. This is what the government is saying. So what government is saying, we have to acknowledge them and do that. Not what religious leaders are saying, what the communal leaders are saying. There are hat mongers. They want to instill communal rights in the society. They want to create conflict. That's what happened in Padarayanapura. That is what is happening in some other places. There are hat mongers. We should not go behind them. We should go behind what government at that time is saying. Many people from different political ideology ruled our state. The prime minister may be from one party today, another party tomorrow, but government is stable. Chief minister may be one party from today, another party from tomorrow, but government is stable. So what I mean to say is, believe the government at the present time. It's not that you should not question the government. At the crisis scenarios, what government is saying, they will say the truth. They will say what is good for the society. Believe the government and support the government. That is what needed. And don't go behind any religious hate mongers. And we should be equally sensible also. There are some people who get carried away by the social media, viral things, video things and all. You should not. As a responsible social media activist, you should have our own maturity. What government is saying at that time, we have to obey. And many people are doing that. Only a last small percent people only they are supporting the hate mongers. Majority of the people, they are working for the society.
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any question?
One last question, Sarita, can I ask?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Rajesh,
Huh.
if the government's credibility is itself at stake, if any government indulges in just propaganda mechanism, don't you think that people will take the statements from the government with a pinch of salt?
We have to oppose any views which is harmful for the society. There are two things. One is the government itself. Second one is government related political leaders' statements. In the sense, for example, if the government is ruling, that rule of government is totally different and the political party leader's statement is different. We have to disobey, we have to keep it aside the leader's statement. Government actually run by, as we are all aware, bureaucracy and other things. What the government is setting the standards, that is not involving any communal device or anything. Maybe from the Department of Education, Department of Health, or anything. But if a political leader tries to create, any party maybe, decisive propaganda, we should oppose them. Everybody should oppose them. Lock, stock, and barrel. Whoever creates communal disharmony in the society, whoever who disturbs the so-called the happy mindset of the society, for political reason, maybe ex-politician, current politician, ex-minister, current minister, whoever it is, then we have to give them a fitting reply in social media. There is no doubt about that. But the government rules, what is described by the principal secretary and which is duly signed by the governor. That's what the actual governance part of it I am quoting. So that has to be taken and that has to be forwarded, and which has no communal agenda in it.
No, but unfortunately, don't you think that politicians are crossing their brief and encroaching onto the bureaucracy?
Yes. Of course, yes.
And because of that, probably the dividing line is very, very thin for anybody. I mean, when media finds it difficult to decipher what this thing, and how do you expect when they go live on TV and say certain things, how will a layman know whether it's a government view or is it a politician's view? Don't you think it's easier said than
That's what I said. I said very clearly that if any political leader's statement is making the problem, then lock, stock, and barrel, without any matter of delay, keep that statement aside, whoever it is. We need leaders who join the society. We need leaders who integrate the society. We don't want any leader who break the society. Decisive leader is not required. So we need integrated leader, and I request all media houses so that they will give preference and chances for them also. If a news anchor knowing that this leader will divide the society, don't give them big scope, don't give them camera and the space, neglect them. If a leader integrated the society, he listens to all aspirations, who is a leader who unites them, give more preferences. So we need such leadership who unites. We don't want any leader, whoever it may be, who divides the society.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Next question.
Just an informative question. Can I ask?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please go ahead,
you
sir.
provided very latest data regarding the social media usage in the beginning. Could you say where can we get access such kind of information, authentic, latest ones?
There are a lot of platforms are available. There is a global digital analytical data forum that is very much available. That will, I'll share if you needed. I'll share the information with the Narasimhamurthy ji, and
Yeah, that would be nice.
I'll
Yes.
give you
Yeah.
personally. It seems, or
Okay.
it's available. Data analytics. That is the name. They'll keep with the data for every 3 months. After April, they'll come in the month of July.
Okay, sir. Any question? Any next question? Anyone else? Sir, I have a small question for you. So the moment corporatocracy or capitalism enters into any system, the whole purpose of that thing gets diluted. So in the same way, we see a lot of it is happening in social media, recent collaboration of Reliance Jio with Facebook. So do you think even our digital media will have same fate as our mainstream media has gone through? And do you think there will be real space for real social activism, specifically social activism in a long future, especially in the platform of digital media?
No, nothing will happen. Facebook cannot control the people's expressions in the Facebook. Only they can do is they will show you the notifications, or they will hide your comments, or what you call your post and all. That they can do. That they can manage, but not beyond to a level. If there is a threshold they are crossing, the people will lose. I mean, the Facebook will lose itself its credibility, and they will take other platforms. For example, no social media platform is permanent. For example, before Facebook, Orkut was very popular.
Yes,
Actually,
sir.
Facebook copied so many things of the Orkut, but Orkut itself collapsed and Orkut closed. The entire company is closed. The same thing may happen for Facebook tomorrow if the Facebook is overtaken by some other companies. That's what. That's why the Facebook purchased WhatsApp, saying that the personal data and mobile-based people relationship should not go away. Facebook wanted all those data. But what Facebook investment in Geo is concerned, that has nothing to do with the expression of a common man. What I was posting last time, I can post now also, no problem for me. But once Facebook tried to control all these aspects of a person with the Facebook security or any other aspects, then Facebook is also not being trusted.
Okay, okay, so that answers my question. Thank you so much. Anyone else who has a question? Okay, sir.
Ask now, Vamsi, you can vote of thanks.
At the outset, I would like to firstly congratulate and thank Mr. Rajesh Padmar for his valuable time that he has given to us, and he has given us with a deluge of information, and which will definitely be a very big source for the students, all of our students. And it also has given us enough inspiration to become a social media activist, which is obviously one of the most promising forums, promising future for the young students at journalism. I would also like to thank our chairman, the dean of faculty, Professor Narasimhamurthy sir, for organizing and for helping us witness such a fantastic presentation. I would also like to thank the supporting staff, Ms. Sarita, Mr. Chanakya and Raghavendra, and the faculty, Mr. Mohan Babu sir and Ms. Tejaswini, for helping us come to this forum and have witness to this great presentation. And I also thank all the faculty from the rest of the departments of BCU and the Bangalore University to have witnessed this and made this occasion a very memorable one. So I once again thank Mr. Rajesh Padmar on behalf of the faculty and myself too. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, Rajesh Padmar.
Thank you. Thank you.
One more announcement.
Okay, sir.
Raghu, you can share that these things. And we are organizing one more lecture on 6th these things. May Raghu, ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ರಘು ಅದು ರಘು ಯಾ
ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಸರ್.
Irli, Saku, that is, we are organizing one more lecture on, of course, journalism industry, of course, media industry is lagging a lot of problems. That was addressed by Anand Pradhan, a professor of Indian Institute of Mass Communication. He is going to speak on 6th. He is from Delhi. He is going to speak on the issue journalism and media industry in the time of COVID-19. I think we can.
Yes, sir.
Okay then. Sir, Padma sir, thank you, sir.